Good morning, Art 7 students. How's it going? Oh, it's time for toilet paper roll critique. This is so cool. It's so interesting because I'm thinking like maybe from now on what I'll do. I love you guys' toilet paper drawing so much that I was, as I looked at it, I previewed some of them, you know. I try to make it like Christmas. So like Tuesday morning, I get up and I'm like, oh, I get to look at, and surprise myself. And but sometimes I can't help it, and I have to. Yeah, I peek at the gift. In this case, it was a toilet paper drawing assignment. But anyway, I'm thinking maybe I should start a thing where I pick the one I like the most from every semester, and then I like buy it. Like maybe $25 or something, whatever. It ain't like you guys gonna take that drawing and go hang it up on your wall, or maybe you would. I would. And so I'm thinking maybe I should do that. And then every semester I'd have like another cute little toilet paper, and then I could have a whole wall of toilet paper rolls. Don't you guys think that's a cool idea? Man, I don't know. Maybe it's a crazy idea, but I think it'd be so funny. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the critique and let's see what y'all did. I am so excited. Okay, let's see. Go on this one, and here we go. Okay, who we got first? We got Kate Bololi first. All right, Missy, not bad. I like the little, like what you got going on here with the little toilet paper kind of squished on the side. It's creating like a little motion there, a little movement, as opposed to when you get a fresh one and it's still kind of, compact like that. So watch this, guys. Good idea here, putting her horizon line, right? So this is a nice block here, this rectangle, and this is a pleasing relationship just between these two, the white kind of square shape, right, the rectangle, and then the more horizontal one. Pretty good job. Soft edges. I see her going in and going back in with either the smudge tool or her finger or something, and really realizing she needs to curve this around so that toilet paper, it's believable as it wraps around the little, the piece there, little cardboard piece. Very good, dear. Good job. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't look at your image first. Let's take a look at her reference. And there it is. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Boy, that's really nice, isn't it? Yeah. And see how she made choices, guys, right? Because in this scenario right here, this is almost half, right? This shape here against this shape here. So really interesting. Something interesting too is she, one thing might have been to like include this, oh, it's on carpet. Okay, for a second, I couldn't tell it was carpet or if it was like a granite tabletop or something. But then I look closer, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's carpet. That's really cool. But what I'm saying is it's a really cool pattern. So you have really dark black back here. You have really kind of a textural, visual texture pattern. And then you have the softness and that billowy-ness like a cloud of the toilet paper. So that threesome thing might have been a cool thing to kind of accentuate that. But I'm very, very pleased with your drawing, dear. Good job. And it's a natural thing to kind of refine and, figure things out that way. Now, one thing I will say after I looked at the photograph, I forgot to mention, is we could have got a little bit more on the bowl down here. You see that, dear? See how this here is, you have such a wonderful curve here, but then when we get down here, it needs to, ooh, here, we do it with the tool here real quick. It just needs to bow out a little bit more. So we're talking, oh, shoot, this thing. You see what I'm saying? Just something a little bit more like that. All right, dear, but all in all, very good job. Okay, let's move on to Bridget, Miss Carlson. Okay, so there's the drawing. Let's take a look at her reference. Okay, turn it around. Okay, once again, cool kind of a tabletop with texture opportunity here. Actually, 3 different kinds of texture, right? The wall that's behind. Okay, so looking at that, making note of how she also made that decision to kind of pull out that piece so we get this nice little kind of entry moment right here. Okay, let's go back to our drawing now. Okay, so a little bit different, but definitely, she's got this part darker than the background portion of that wall there. This is a sweet little moment in here, feels right. And she did include that little moment there. So, good job, Miss Carlson. Like the TP, there we go. All right, moving on to Miss Martina. What? That's crazy. I can't get any bigger. What is going on, Denise? This is great. Okay, let's look at a picture real quick before I trip over myself. Hold on. But that's nice, guys. We cannot deny that. All right, let's see. What did this photo look like? Wait a minute, what happened? Wait, oh, did she do 2 of them? No, wait a minute. Oh, this is, okay, this is the charcoal. Oh, honey, scared me. Okay, I'm sorry. You didn't have to do both. You know, the charcoal one, you can submit next week, okay? Because so this week you're supposed to be done. So you're already done, essentially, dear, so that's fine. But what I'm going to have you do, dear, is you can just resubmit this one for next week, okay? Oh, that's funny. She's like, I doubled down. I got them both done. All right. That's looking very nice, though. Wow, what a difference, guys, right? Between the two. In terms of, you know, how this was a perfect example. This is what I wanted you guys to see and to realize and to kind of get to know charcoal a little bit. It's like, okay, I already did the toilet paper, look great, graphite. Now I'm gonna go charcoal on it. So this one, you know, it has a different mood to it. It really does, a completely different mood. This one is a little more expressive. I get the feeling, you know, it's a little more kind of tapered at the top, but this moment, right, guys, that's the best moment. And then let's go look back and look at the other one again. And so it's the same thing, right? Amazing, right? So the lesson here, ladies and gentlemen and others, is, you know, your reference is one thing, but how you choose to interpret it, and that includes your medium of choice too, right? So oil will look different than watercolor, then it will look different than acrylic, then gouache, then ink, then, you know what I mean? So you get the idea. But this, I like the charcoal. This is my favorite one. I love it. Good job. Oh my goodness. All right, Miss Greaves. I've seen this one too. Look at her, you guys. Look at Miss Greaves. Is that a fun roll of toilet paper or what? You know what I'm saying? Like, look at this. Oh, that's smart. It almost looks like it's going to fly away or something, you know? Isn't that awesome? So really good job. And look at this too, how she notices dark in here. And then as it moves away and that light comes down and catches inside of that tube inside of there. Really nice moment there. Good job, Miss Greaves. I'm digging this one too. A for you. Yes. Oh, Mr. Guerra. I know. See, I already wrote some comments here. You want to see what I wrote? So, Yepper, love the cast shadow of that folded piece. Oh, sorry. Let's look at the actual drawing. Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go. Nice touch. Like a cool bow tie. On top of a fly suit. So I was mentioning that there's something elegant about this little moment right here. There's just something, I don't know. I like a pinstripe suit, first of all. Okay. So again, the importance of how textures and patterns and how we think about things like that, right? So it's a really weird thing. But anyway, I really appreciate it. I mean, he's always thinking, Mr. Garrett, you know, that's why he does so well in this class, because, you know, he has these interesting kind of shapes here, kind of leading our eye to the top of the toilet paper roll, but he has it going gradually from dark to lighter over here. And, you know, this is my favorite piece, of course, right? But even in those lines, I mean, you know, the patience to do that. And, you know, it's a little rough here. And then I thought, and I almost wished it was like just pure black, but then I was like, you know what? I like it rough because it makes the toilet paper feel that much softer. So A for you, sir. Good job. Oh boy, I've already seen this one. Holy smokes, we got to get bigger. Let's get big. We got to get big. Can we go big? Okay, we're big, big, big. Now listen, this is when I saw this one, I was like, I want to buy this. You know, this has so much. I mean, this right here, and then this in here, and this was what I mentioned right here. And it's funny because Mr. Harbert says, I see the lights and shades, but can't seem to get my hand to do them. And I'm going, what? You're saying you didn't get it? I'm telling you, oh, you got it, sir. I don't know what, I don't know quite what you're talking about, but this is a nice roll of toilet paper. What's my favorite part? Probably this little moment right here. I don't know if you can see this. And then here too has, you know, let me get my, get this out so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I don't want to do red because that's like, we'll do green. Do green. Okay. Just this stuff happening in here. You know what I mean? All these little, I mean, look at the line. And then he went back in and erased it. You know, so he put, you know, additive, went back with his eraser, erased it, several layers to achieve that wonderful, you know, feeling like you just reach out and grab that thing. Like, that is tough, sir. No, that's crazy. That's crazy. So, and then I mentioned I love these two moments here. I don't know if you guys can see them, but these two, you know, perfect. See, it's little, and then also this moment here. So, you know, as that toilet paper is coming down, making contact with the surface, making contact again, going up again, making contact a third time. And at the very end, we fly up out of the composition. You know what I mean? He's up here and it kind of takes off, right? And then it leaves the composition, goes over here, then comes and returns, wait, hold on, back into here. I feel like, what's his name? Joe Madden at the football board, like, he went here in the defensive end. Oh, anyway, but so then this is coming up like that. So what happens is it creates this really cool, like, you know, you're going around and around and around, you know what I mean? And so let me get all this. Now I feel bad. I got to get all this. I have to erase all this because yes, I want to delete. Yeah, there we go. Ah, it's back to normal. So anyway, Mr. Harbert, excellent job. I mean, woo, this is a scary piece of toilet paper. I love it. It's one of my MVPs, you know. Woo, you guys are doing so good at this assignment. Oh, look at that. So quiet, so serious, so symmetrical. Right? Look at this. Is this like, I just want to dive in here. Don't you guys get the feeling that the answers to all of your questions in life are going to happen if you just can get down that hole? That is some beautiful, beautiful shading right there. I got to tell you, this is a kind of patience, you guys, that I'm telling you, it's such a beautiful thing. As I look, you know, there's something, and she didn't include her reference, but there's something that seems a little harsh, a little too hard about that. Just when I looked at it, and perhaps even maybe, dear, this whole thing could have been softer. You know what I mean? So, and then, but look at the attention to detail here. So that's the thing, and this is a beautiful moment. I mean, this is soft, dear. You know what I mean? That little gradual, almost undetectable between where the roll is there and then when that piece comes out. So I'm talking about right here, and you did a great job there. And even this little moment, this little shape, you guys got to realize. And I hope you guys are learning in this class that all these things add up, right? You know, the position of something, how far or, you know, close up or far away it is. I mean, it's just great. And even this, like she almost touches the bottom with it, almost, but gives us a little bit of space so we can squeeze under there and, you know, not get trapped. So beautiful. This seems very purposeful. You know, she thought about it. She took a lot of time on it. This is a contender too, dear. Dang, that's an A quality work right there. No joke. Oh, I love that. You guys don't know how beautiful. I hope you do. I hope you do. And I hope you learn the lesson here, which is it's not what, you know, how you see. No, it is. Everything is about how you see something. You can see something and think, look how beautiful. It's wonderful. And then someone else might go, that's just something every day, you know. But how rich are you if you can get to the point where you do see beauty and remember that everything is designed and that there's an amazingness about that, you know what I mean? That we can just function and people make things and then other people come after them and refine them. And, you know, toilet paper is just like everything else. You know what I mean? Like, I love toilet paper because it like unites us all. You know what I mean? It's like the most like common denominator. Like, look, don't act like you're all that because we all know that we're just human. And okay, so here's another great picture here. Let's look at this and then we'll look at the drawing. I have high hopes. Okay. All right, Ms. Pisano, I'm going to go back to the image again. And I think maybe we have a little bit of a perspective challenge here. Something about that, like I keep it in my mind, the top portion. I think we got a little bit dark here. I think that probably the weakest moment, and this overall, it's very nice. And you know what I really like, guys, is all these little details that she put in here, right? The little texture, that's a nice thought, right? That's very, very nice. But I'm thinking that this ellipse here, I think you went a little bit too high. And I also think this whole thing got too dark, dear, right? So we just have to remember, and how do you create that edge is, remember, you just take the shading up to the edge, and you probably would have been better off just taking the tone and just shading up to this and leaving that a lighter tone, thereby creating that edge as opposed to putting the line. You know what I mean? So yeah, you might just try that to just go in, you know, you got a good grade on this, but just for your own amusement, go in with your eraser and just soften up the whole thing, except where it has a contact shadow, which is right here. Just give it a try. See what you think, right? So nothing wrong with that. Very good, Miss Pisano. Thank you. Let me go erase all this stuff off here. Oh, it's clean again. All right. All right, Miss Pulaski. Let's see. Oh, she's got the. Oh, we got the shadow approaching in there. Okay, so this is very blue, right? Okay, so there's the drawing. Not really any much shadow or shading going on the back. Okay, dear, what happened? You had a great composition here, right? You had this, and this was actually kind of sweeping. That was kind of a nice moment right there. You had a really nice opportunity. There's nice and dark over here, and as it turns, it got lighter. And then, oh man, this was so awesome, you know? So I'm just wondering why we didn't quite make it and get the background in there, right, dear? Because remember what I said about, you know, creating something with something behind it. So pushing something forward, in this case, the toilet paper, and then whatever's behind it receding. And when you're dealing with an object that is white or very light in value like this kind of has a feeling of being incomplete. You see what I'm saying? Because there's very little shading in there, okay? So, you know, didn't quite hit the mark on this one, but good effort, dear. Okay, let's look at Alex. All right, Alexis, excuse me, sorry. Let's turn this around. Okay, Oh, that's kind of weird. There's like two lines here. Okay, well, that's kind of cool. Let's check out. And I like, guess what I like though? I like this angle a lot, a whole lot. And then you see this nice shape here, very crisp, okay? And the light is clearly right on top. Good choice there. Creating what? A cast shadow right here. So, you know, this is just an interesting shape and a kind of a mid-range value. And then we went super, super dark in here and crispy. So notice soft edges here, super hard, crisp edge here. Let's take a look. Survey says, there we go. Okay, all right. All right, so Alexis got nice and dark in here. This is good. We see this angle here that I was hoping. Got the double edge right here. That was unusual, kept that, appreciate that. And a nice, you know, softer edge over here on the cast shadow. All right, Alexis, there you go. Good job. All right, let's look at Mr. Sanchez. Okay, here's his reference material, kind of interesting, nice, and then you know, an opportunity once again for a cast of reflection actually. So that might have been a cool moment. So let's check out, and then this is actually neat too. Look at how this, see this edge here, you guys, and then how this peaks over. Let me use this so you guys can see. Okay, so I'm talking about the line right here, right, and then how this peak, you know, kind of rises up a little bit. I would almost have made this, scooted it a little bit more, so we could have taken a little bit more advantage. Now you don't want to go all the way to the end where it meets there, but the sweet spot I think might have been somewhere in here to just give it that extra roundness and to give it that extra strength and pull it away from the background, right, from that horizontal. But this is a nice moment here too. Okay, so let's check out the drawing now. Let's see what we got. Did we get a dark floor? Okay, all right. So we kind of got, you know, Mr. Sanchez, this was like a previous one we just looked at where it was like kind of all light, very, very light, and kind of got lost, right? So the toilet paper got lost against the whitish background. Yours is the opposite, sir. Your toilet paper is kind of getting lost because you have so much shading on it that is so similar to the background. You don't have a definitive, you know, edge of a wall or something and a tabletop or anything. So this it's feeling a little flat is what I'm saying. You did mention that you use crosshatch, and I see I see some lines there. I'm not sure if that's quite, you know, that committed crosshatch, you know what I mean? But if you wanted to incorporate crosshatch in this drawing, a good idea might have been to do it in the background, right? So creating a texture, a dark texture in the background, and then once again, pushing that white, soft, billowy, you know, object forward. But very good effort, Mr. Sanchez. Thank you. Okay, let's check out Mr. Skidmore, Zach. Let's see what he did. All right. Okay, there's Zach. So his has, like, as usual, quite an honesty about it. It feels, it's very kind of angular, you know what I mean? There's a roughness to it, and kind of a quirkiness to it, but I think it actually works. It's kind of expressive. I mean, even, you know, even this here, it's everything, it almost feels like it's made out of a different material or something. Like it doesn't, at least in my eyes, it doesn't quite feel soft, you know, but it still has kind of a functional, practical kind of charm to it. And I really like how Ryan notices little moments like this. They're kind of rough, you know, and they're strong, you know, but he hits it there. And then he goes ahead and he realizes, oh, I want to draw some attention here. So he puts that dark shading, as we saw previous students do in previous slides. So good job overall, Mr. Skidmore. Okay, let's look at Madison. So here's what I said about hers. We'll see. First, let's look at, okay, so here's her. Ooh, there's something very mysterious about that toilet paper, right? And again, we have the little wisp here. See that? Okay. Then notice these lines kind of going at an angle. Okay, very interesting. All right. So we have that in mind. Dark background in general. Very, not a white to be in sight, right? No white, just very toned down. Okay, now let's see if she stuck with that or what happened in the drawing. Now I saw this earlier, but I had since forgot, so I'm excited to see it again. There we go. Okay, so what I said great composition and sensitivity to detail, strong. Patient shading, excellent. And told her to watch this video that I'm doing right now. Okay, so once again, she has this moment here that's nice and soft. And I do want to point out that I do believe in the image, it was not that soft. Let's take a look. Okay, see that edge? Okay, maybe okay, so this edge was a little harder, right? And she took the liberty to make it a little more fanned out and a little more soft. See, that's artistic license, right? So she understands what the whole point is. You know, you want to go for the softness about it, and that's kind of what you want to lean into with this. And she did a really good job. I mean, this whole thing is cohesive. It's patient. You guys remember how important shading is. If your drawing is off, that's one thing. If you have some patient, beautiful shading, it's going to gain you points every time. Good job, Miss Soto. Thank you very much. A for you. All right, let's see what Jessie did. Oh, look how sweet. Oh, look how precious this is over on the side here. Right, guys? Where's the focal point? It's right here. I found it. It's right here. Yep, sure enough. Right? Interesting, isn't it? Now, we're going to look at the picture in a minute, but look how interesting how dark it is back here. Now, I'm wondering in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I would expect to see dark in here as well. Like this area here, I would expect to be quite dark. And I'm curious to know if that's not the case, was it in her intention to say, oh, you know what? I want the focal point. I'm going to switch it up. I want the focal point to be over here on the bottom left. You rarely see that. So let's see if it was intentional. Yeah. Well, I mean, it is lighter here. It is lighter here. Look at this. It's like this toilet paper is living a life of luxury sitting on this blue throne. What's going on? That's crazy. And she also has really good perspective here too. But this is definitely a good choice, right, guys? I don't know if she pulled a little bit away or it just came out of the cupboard, you know, or whatever, the pantry like that or whatever. Oh my gosh, what does it say? H-A-L. That would have been cool to get that in. I can't remember if she got it in. Let's go back and see. Did she get that little writing in there? Because that would be off the chain. No, it didn't quite make it. That's right. But you know, this is, as I said, when I first pulled this up, you know, the whole thing about this is just so soft and like, you know, it almost reminds you of a child or something. You know what I mean? Something like that. So, and also this idea that it's in a corner, you know what I mean? Like you almost think of someone being sent to the corner, right? So see, all these things are so subconscious, you know what I mean? But you can tell by the angles, right? One right here, that it kind of has this like sort of shyness about it. It's just against the wall, trying to, you know, I don't know, find solace there or something. That's kind of funny, but I really love this. Good job. And the softness here, out of sight, dynamite. All right, good job. Good job. Okay, so let's see what Miss Wolf says. She says, the texture of the toilet paper really confused me for some reason. I really appreciate some advice about it. Okay, great, dear. I'll give you some. What do you guys think? First of all, I could tell, Miss Wolf, bravo for you, dear. I can see that you have the grid. Telltale signs of someone who is what? Taking their time. Yay! Honey, that's a win already. You know, I've been telling you all semester, slow down. So you slow your stroll, dear. You're going to be going 80, 90 on the freeway like it's the Autobahn. So this right here, and I don't think that was your intention, but and probably it should be erased, but it's the evidence, Exhibit A, Your Honor, that shows me that you were thinking about, oh, or maybe it's a tabletop. Maybe it's not a grid. Oh, okay. You know what? I could be wrong, dear. This could just be like the tiles on a table. Okay. Or on your counter. Okay. I get it now. Okay, cool, cool, cool. But good news for you is I can already tell that you are taking greater care and time with your shading. Okay. We still have some long strokes there. Okay. But this is probably the most committed I think I've seen you on a drawing yet. So congratulations, dear. It's a win for you on this one. I also want to point out, guys, look how hard this right here is working for her. Woo, that's a good moment right there. That's a smart move. Good for you, dear. Love that. Love the position. Oh, you know what? Let's look at the picture real quick. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. In front of myself. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Okay, so when you say the texture, you mean this, right? It's so funny because before I saw I don't know what brand this is, but I have not seen those ridges. I was like, wow, these are very textural. My stuff just always like just kind of soft and flat. I don't know. But anyway, pretty cool though. But yeah, that's interesting. And dear, your lines were going at an angle. You saw some, and it's probably because it's gotten a little bit flat in there. You can tell that a little bit by the inner portion here. And so, you know, when the toilet gets going like that, then it kind of flattens on one side and it creates these weird textures as opposed to completely, you know, smoothly cylindrical shape. But it's cool because it's like a wave. You know, you write it down here and you go wee like a roller coaster. You come back up, then over here where it rolls around, it's a different kind of thing too, and it waves again. Wee! I mean, that's pretty cool. All right, let's go back to the drawing. So once again, in that reference, we see that she had a dark area back here. So that was super smart. Dear, you know what? I might have, and you were so close. I mean, you're in the A range anyway, but I'm just saying it's just a couple points off. If you want to, and I know this edge was darker here in the photograph, but you know what? I might just go for it and take your eraser and just kind of smoosh it out. I can see you already started to do it, and you were being true to your photograph. That is very true. But you know, if we're trying to emphasize something, you know what I mean? You know, and if I say I want it to be super soft, like lean towards the soft, I want you to go and do some work. Now I can see you've done that here, and hopefully you guys, this is big enough so you guys can see as well. This is exactly what she did right here. Is this, and ooh, and she lost the edge here too. That's nice. That's probably the most powerful part right there. Why? Because she has this super soft edge here, and then she's playing that off by, you know, having this super dark right here. That's a great moment. Also, she has this line here that I already mentioned that's really working hard for her to you know, delineate the difference between the background and the foreground. The object, which is the toilet paper, loses it here, catches the line here again. That's a good move. Catches it here where you would expect it. And this is super nice. Like this is her power. This is what's anchoring this whole thing right here. So dear, because you have that strength and that, like that angular moment there, I would say, I think this angle, the hardness of that is kind of, you know, getting in competition with this one. And since we know the whole toilet paper roll is soft everywhere around, I would say go in here with your smudge tool. You maybe could even just do it with your smudge tool. Just bring some of that dark in and just make it super, super soft, and try to make it as super soft like over here as it is over here. Okay. And by doing that, that makes these moments like right here where it may be a little bit on the hard side, but it makes it seem intentional when you intentionally push a couple moments hard, and then you push some other ones soft, and then it looks like you're like in control. You know what I mean? Like you are driving this bus and you know exactly where it's going, and you know how much gas you got, and you know how many okay, I'm just playing. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully you get my meaning, dear. But you're at A already. But if you want that perfect 20, then just take that eraser to me, dear, and just submit it again. Okay, that's my advice to you. All right, good job, Miss Wolf. This is a win for you today. Okay, guys, so let's go on to the next section. And so here we have Destiny. All right. That's where it has like a levitating feeling to it or something. I'm not sure why, but kind of a neat, it's almost turning into a square right here. That's kind of cool. All right, Miss Alvarado, let's see your drawing. I need a drum roll, huh? And there it is. Okay. All right, look at how it's locked in here, right? We got this, hold on. This moment here, right? And then we've got these here that are going across. It's kind of locking that, you know, that toilet paper ain't going nowhere, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's in there. So that, and in terms of composition and, you know, compositional strength, that's a kind of a neat move. You know what I mean? It does create that kind of blockiness too. And you know, what's interesting, like, so this stuff we would say is geometrical, right? Straight lines and angles, you know what I mean? Kind of mathematical. And remember what I said at the beginning, when we looked at the image, I said, this kind of looks like squarish. And it's just because of how it got kind of smushed in the bag or whatever. But the funny thing is, she emphasized that. So it was almost like, you know, I don't know if it's intentional, but like these square, you know, and then, you know, getting that kind of square in there. So it makes it kind of interesting. I kind of like it. I think that was, I don't know if it was intentional or what, but there's something, like I say, very blocky. Even the shadow, you know, because when we think of toilet paper, we think of a cylinder, right? But even the shadow has a blockiness to it. You know what I mean? It's kind of squarish. The whole thing is kind of squarish. You know, it's like you're only almost missing a line here. You know what I mean? Then it's like a block. You know what I'm saying? Like you can go pretty angular on that, but quite interesting. And you know what? There's a cohesion about it. And the shading is great, Miss Alvarado. And I really could tell you took your time. And that's why I like it. So, you know, maybe, you know, we got a little bit dark on our lines here, maybe a little squarish, you know. However, your shading and your dedication and your patience is really what's carrying this drawing. So A for you, dear. Good job. All right. Let's look at Mr. Johnson. What did Preston do? Ooh, this has some personality. Let's take it, turn it right side up. Wow. This is wild. Oh man, I loved it. This is so wild because this almost looks, the way that he's handled, like this almost looks shiny, as if it's, oh, maybe it is. Okay, so you know how you put the toilet paper roll on whatever this, you know, the thing is, and you click it in. It almost look, because see the shine on this? That's not like cardboard. The cardboard doesn't shine like that. And I can see that he has an image, so we're going to look in a second. And I think it'll be fascinating to compare and contrast. But on the image alone, I mean, the goal, once again, was for this toilet paper to look soft and perhaps usable, because it's about the softness and everything. So, you know, Mr. Johnson, this is an interesting occasion where you, and by the way, I think this is one of the better, I think the last project was one of your strongest projects. And I'm telling you, I think this one is too. Now, it kind of missed the mark on the soft thing. Why is that, guys? Why did Preston kind of miss the mark on the soft, on the don't squeeze the Charmin, it's supposed to be soft thing? What about these hard lines? Right? Like, remember what I said about the hard lines? You know, you would expect a hard edge to be on wood or plastic, or, you know, even, I guess, certain parts of the body, you know, something like that. Metal, of course, is like one of the hardest edges. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, my. Oh. Okay, anyway, where was I? Oh, talking about the hardness or softness of Mr. Johnson's toilet paper here. But this one is just, it's definitely not soft, okay? He does have soft moments, though, inside of it, right? So he's really, this is like one of the most patient pieces you've done so far, sir. So I'm going to give you props on that. You and Miss Wall for kicking butt today. So that's pretty darn good, man. You had the soft shading here. I can see you where you went kind of long on your lines. Boy, you're lucky, because it worked for you this time. You know, usually I tell you guys to shade soft, you know, shade little, and I could see you did that. But I'm guessing it was maybe after you got all this done, and you might have been feeling a little confident, which is, you should, because this has a lot going for it. Yes, I really like it. And like I said, this almost looks like a bolt or a screw, because it looks like it's metal, because you've got all these hard edges and very shiny moment here. Okay, is everybody ready to see the actual image? Okay, here we go. It's loading. It's loading. Okay. Oh, okay. This is fascinating. Okay. How funny is this? I don't know. So it's really funny to me how, because I was like, oh yeah, that looks like metallic and, like, you know what I mean? A bolt or something. So it's just funny to me, hilarious, that you got all this kind of techie, you know, kind of hard material, hard edges and all the stuff around here, and the kind of digital futuristic vibe. And because that's kind of what this looks like, sir, to be honest with you. This right here is like, what kind of, this right here is just so funny to me, man. I don't know. It's just so out of place, but I think that's what really gives it character. So going back to the image, let's take a look at that. Okay, so very good. And actually here we can see that the proportion between, you know, his image, his little thing was like, his little moment here was a lot smaller, right, in the photograph. And I'm sorry, I should have had that side to side. But anyway, sir, so it looks a little different. Also, these lines here, like, you had, you know, a really nice opportunity, if you wanted to kind of accentuate those. Lots of lines. Ooh, yeah, that would have been a nice touch. And then, oh, also, you had this moment here where it was just some little bit of, you know, eraser work. We could have got those, you know what I mean? All those little in-between moments there that really, like, push it, you know, push the realism. But once again, Mr. Johnson has done what previous students have done, and he picked out the things that he wanted to kind of emphasize, and he gave it a character. And it's not quite like the image itself, but he gains something else, because it's just the way he perceives it. So this thing has a lot of character. Also, sir, I would you know, kind of advise you to keep an eye on that, those round moments, okay, as we move on through the semester, because we got a little bit flat here on the bottom part of it. Okay, but you did an excellent job, sir. Good. One of my favorites. One of your strongest of the semester thus far. Congratulations. Okay, let's move on to Ruby, Miss Picasso. All right, this is kind of cool. I like this moment up here. This is kind of a nice little moment up here. I like this, but I got to tell you, and we'll look at the picture in a minute, but see how this moment here with this light value kind of runs right into here. So this is getting a lot of attention, right? Because we have this curve here, which is very nice, by the way, coming in here. We have an outdoor, you know, outside coming in line here, which is also meeting here. We have this line of the toilet paper, and we have this line and this line. So this is a crucial area right here, almost a focal point. Actually, this is your focal point right now, but this could have been, probably would have been a more interesting one if you handled it a bit differently. But having said that, overall, I'm liking the patience on it. I think, you know, you paid attention to the whole composition. And let's go ahead and take a look at your photograph. Okay, there it is. Ah, okay, here's that line. All right, so once again, yeah, we had, I mean, again, we had these little moments here, these little pricklies that are sticking out. I always love to see those. And this line is kind of going in there, but do you see, can you guys see that how when you squint down, it's almost like the toilet paper is holding a stick, or, you know, you almost read this as a hand, and that, you know, and my only point is there would have been nothing wrong if Ms. Picasso wanted just to take that black, and let's just see what happens for the sake of, yeah. So just watch what happens here when, see how that releases that, and this pushes all back, all back, all back. And the more I do stuff over here, the more you're going to start to look at and let this be the focal point over here, right? So I would keep getting it out, getting it out, getting it out. Okay, and I can't get any bigger than that, but you guys see what I'm saying? After I click it off, you'll see what I mean. So, you know, and I did like that moment up here in her drawing that was kind of a hint. It was kind of like a ghost, because it was white lines that kind of incorporated what the white of the toilet paper of the subject into like an unexpected corner. I like when, that's why I love Japanese art, Chinese art stuff, because I love how they would use the corners in a composition, whereas in the West, we tend to focus on the middle. But anyway, so covering this up, covering this up, covering it. Okay, now I'm going to click it off. Okay, so look at it now, and then I'm going to delete it. Okay, and what I want you to do is I want you to keep an eye up here. Okay, right here where this moment is. Okay, and we're going to erase it. You see what I'm saying right here? All this came back to life right here, and it's holding a sword again or something like that. Okay, so just, these are tangencies, guys. I mentioned that before. Anyway, let's go back to her drawing. Yeah, so same thing. You know, if I were to take the tool again and kind of shade in here and push this back, of course, this is too dark, okay? But you guys get the point, get the picture, hopefully. Okay, but pretty good. Dedicated, patient, consistent shading. Did a good job, Ms. Picasso. Very, very nice. It's hard to go light sometimes, isn't it? All right, Myra. Okay, we have TP. There we go. And clearly, we have this ellipse here, and then we have a nice shadow here. So when we click over to the drawing, let's see what we got. Okay, all right. Simplified it a little. I think this moment here is a little something. I'm gonna have to go back to the image and look at it. So, you know, again, with, and I realize as you guys are like drawing this, you're like, I'm trying to get this right. I'm trying to get this right. But the thing though, about it is though, dear, is that, so we went and kind of lost realism here, because you have this hard edge, right? Kind of like, now, granted, it's not as straight as this one. This is a super hard edge right here. This line here, that's serious. That was done with the ruler. Good job. That is a really good decision. But what happened is you missed what it almost looks like as a kind of the same thing in the example before, is you have a point here where all three of these are meeting, right? So that's kind of, that's a hard thing too. You don't want them, when those three lines meet, it kind of ties them together as if they're on the same plane. But what you want is you want toilet paper in front, and you want the back to be the back. So one choice could have been to, you know, really go double down on the dark and come in here and shade all this a tone darker. You see what I'm saying? And that would have done kind of a lot just to break up the area between up here and then the area down here. And so I think that would have been a good choice. And then the other thing, you know, is this little moment here, which almost feels beakish. You know, it's like the head of a chick, or this is the eye and this is the teeny beak or something like that. So, you know, my point there is you got to be cautious about the hard and the soft moments. Okay, let's click it back again on the image. Okay, yeah. So, and that does kind of look hard. And, you know, one reason it is getting even more attention is because it's actually cutting right here. Like this becomes all the same thing, which is amplifying the power of this moment right here, right? Because it's like all this energy and it's like, boom, that's where it's taken off. You know what I mean? That point is going off the page. So, but again, it was all about the softness of the toilet paper. So it might've been a good idea just to even kind of lose this a little bit more, or situate it, right? So maybe if you pulled more, and then, you know, you pulled this down more, so more of the toilet paper came down to wrap around, you know what I mean? So that might have been, that way, this edge wouldn't have been here. This edge could have been, you know, over here, maybe a little bit softer. But anyway, these are just little things, you know, and that's what I hope you guys are getting out of critique, is that I'm not trying to criticize you. I'm trying to be like critical in a positive way, for the only purpose to teach you something new that you can apply to the next drawing so you can get better grades. That's all that's about, you know? So hopefully you don't feel too picked on, Ms. Lopez, because you did a really good job. Okay, Let's move on to Ivan. Okay. Well, that has like a 1960s vibe to it for some reason. I'm not sure why. He's got a really nice moment in here, dividing up the space almost in half. In this case, usually students give more ground than like wall in the background. In this case, it's more the horizon line there is kind of making this part a little heavier. And this does have a heaviness to it. For some reason, you know, the hard lines, and it feels analytical. It doesn't have that soft. Remember the one before? It's like the soft in the corner, like a child. This one is like, I don't know, man. It's very straightforward. It's kind of, and how it's dipped in here a little bit is kind of funny. Like, see how this dip here? Ooh, you know, it's like it got squished a little bit. I know, it's very weird, kind of, but in a good way. In a good way, Ivan. Don't worry about it. In a good way. It has personality, man. At least you want it to have some personality, you know what I'm saying? Okay, and there it is there. Okay, so he took some liberties. He had a dip. He had the dip kind of like more right in the middle. Okay, we got the shadow side here. So noticing when we squint that essentially up here, let me grab something here so you can actually see it. So this whole shape here, essentially all this, all of this whole thing is the same value, right? And then of course we see here the core shadows here, and as it turns, it gets lighter as it goes to the light. Now let us all squint down and let us find the hardest edge. Where is the hardest moment in this whole scenario right here? I think I found it. I think it's right here. Okay, so once we identify, we say this is the darkest, hardest edge, you know, the most high contrast moment as well. Then that tells us how to handle this moment right here, right? And then when we squint down and we realize, oh wait, that's this whole thing essentially. This whole thing could be the same tone. Okay, so let's go back and look at his drawing. Yeah, okay. Oh, so he took liberties there too. So, you know, he raised this line up a little bit. Okay, so yeah, but nice job. Nice. And he was accurate because this is pretty much the same value here. This is the same. This is the same. He turned it. Okay, yeah, pretty good job, Mr. Mejia. Good job. A for you. All right, let's move on to Miss Mendoza. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's great. That's a beautiful composition. Can we just acknowledge that? Look how interesting it is, you guys, where, you know, you say, well, a toilet paper roll is a toilet paper roll, you know, but look, you know, because when this roll was new, right? I mean, gauging by this part right here, we're probably thinking it was like, you know what I mean? That feels like accurate in terms of proportion, right? So this one's been, you know what I mean, been used all up and it's almost gone, you know, which was just funny, right? Because I think we've all experienced that. That's funny. You know, it's like, oh my God, you know, make sure you get another toilet paper roll in the bathroom or whatever. So very, very funny. And it has a lightness about it. It's almost like a spaceship waiting to take off, a shuttle. You know, just because, and also her angle. So this would not be half as exciting had she had a scenario where it was just, you're looking dead on, you know what I mean? Where it was, you know, okay, that would have been at just eye level. That wouldn't have been as engaging and as interesting, that because she has her position and she's getting above it. She has this really strong uplift, you know what I mean? That like draws us in and we're like falling down in here, going down into that. And then look here, so it has this up and down thing going. So we go up, we go in. This is like a roller coaster. We come around, we go up that way. I mean, and then she has a beautiful, oh, right. Here's the thing. This is such a beautiful moment right here. Let me erase all this other stuff, you guys, so we can focus. Okay, let's get focused. All right, first of all, this light right here, this is probably the lightest moment right here, right? But this whole thing is so stark and beautiful, okay? So let's just acknowledge that. We love that. Good choice. But then, and look how hard edge it is, right? Like that's the start of the show. I can't look anywhere else except for in that hole, right? Because she's got the white and then she's got the dark, and it's a big piece of dark too. So big piece of dark, little piece of white, like an Oreo, something like that. Don't we always want more stuff in there? I know I do. Chintzy. Okay, anyway, you're like, they have double stuff, Professor. Don't they have triple stuff? They probably do. I need to stay away from Oreos. Okay, I'm sorry. Where was I? Oh, toilet paper. That's right. Okay, so down here, look how stark and hard edge this is. And then we go down here and look how soft. This is like, this merges and just becomes that secondary cast shadow, right? And so that is a nice moment right there. Ooh, and then look at these little pieces. Oh, I hope we got those pieces. Let's check it out and see if we got those little pieces. Oh, we did. Okay, good job, Miss Mendoza. Yes, we did. Okay, I'm loving it. You know, the only thing there is I think I would have liked to have seen a little more, maybe darker, you know what I mean? Some shading. Let me look, I forget already. See, isn't that weird? You think you know something. Okay, yeah, so it is darker here. Okay, I was gonna say, for some reason in the drawing, I was gonna wish that, you know, that you had a darker background, but that's not what's going on. You were pretty accurate. So good. Okay, that's unusual. You know what I mean? It's unusual to have a white ground and then have the toilet paper be like, you know, a little bit darker. And again, as always, it depends on your light source and how close or far and how strong it is, warm or cooler, what have you. So anyway, very good job. Another A for Blanca. Let's give her a hand. I'll give you guys all a hand. You guys, that's so funny. You laugh at me when I give you this assignment, but look what you do, huh? All right then. Okay. All right. Now this is interesting. Wow, we got texture for days here. For days. All right, Kevin, I got your image here, sir, but where's your drawing at? Oh, there it is. Okay, good. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so let's look at this first, and then we got to pan down. There we go. Okay, so we got that. Okay, texture going. Let us find, where is the darkest dark and the sharpest edge, everybody? Take a second. Look all the way around it. Let's see if it helps if I make it bigger. Boom. Okay. Squint down like I am. Okay, squinting. All right. Okay, you know where it is? Let's go around here. Ooh, there's a lost edge right here, first of all. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me grab my tool here. Okay, we got a beautiful lost moment right here, kind of like the same thing we just saw in the last one. And the hard edge, high contrast area, it's right there. That's the focal point. Okay, and very unusual because usually because of his light situation, how we designed it, we would expect to see really dark in here. Now we do see a little bit darker, and then as we all know, it, you know, as that cone moves around inside of there, it catches a little bit light, but this is definitely the focal point. So let's check out, let's go down and see what we can see. Okay, I don't know, Kevin, on this one, man, I think, okay, you guys probably could see where I'm headed with this one. So, you know, first of all, we need to get more of a roundedness, right? So it has a conversation and it makes sense with, you know, what's above it there. You stuck to having a little bit of dark and going to light in there. And remember in the other image, you guys, that this was the hardest edge. So this was the focal point. So what he's done is he has made this kind of whole thing attached here becomes the focal point. But it's almost an antagonistic thing. You know, it's a question of, it's like when you guys cook. Hopefully you guys cook, help your mother out. When you're cooking and you have a little bit of a spice, right? You don't want to overwhelm something. And the least you have of something in a picture, the more the eye's going to go to it, right? Because it's different than everything else. So this moment here, we had an opportunity to say, okay, that's the hardest edge and the darkest dark out of this whole thing. And had he kept it precious right there and just kind of backed off on this stuff up here, that probably would have been a more of a poignant moment. You know what I mean? And so as right now, this whole thing just gets blended together. You know, this just feels, there's a very, you know, it's like the shadows grabbing that, you know, it's kind of locked in there or something, you know, so kind of interesting. It does help build strength in your composition, you know, kind of locking something in there like that. But at the same time, I think because you have this hard edge, I mean, do you have an outline? This whole thing, you know, we're gone kind of flat, you know what I mean? So we were trying to go in for volume, or we're going for softness. I could have, you know, I would say, okay, go ahead and keep this line right here. But this toilet paper, sir, cannot be as hard as that. There's just no way. And let's go back up and look. Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is super soft. See that? See how this line? That is a dark, hard edge, sir. And this is the toilet paper. There's no way that this line could be harder than this one. Okay, so maybe some revisions might be in order for you, Mr. Munoz. There's nothing wrong with that. And, you know, let us be grateful that I allow you to even revise anything. Okay, so don't feel too bad. But you know what, your shading's nice. I can see you thinking. I appreciate all these little, you know, you're trying to capture these, you know, these moments here. I don't know what this is. It doesn't quite, is it wood or, oh, okay, maybe it's a faux wood grain or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, there's a lot more lines going on in the reference than you actually have here, right? So I don't know, you know, once again, I can see you trying to attempt to make that you know, happen and to kind of make the toilet paper feel more white and pure and billowy. But if you want to do it, if you're going to do this for an improved grade, then I suggest you either, you know, make that more interesting by just keeping it, wait, hold on. Oh, I'm going the opposite direction. So you see how this is a different value? So go ahead and just make this a darker value, but make sure that you're accentuating this. Okay. And then knock this all down back. We don't need that. I think it's kind of hurting you. Yeah. Okay. So sometimes we don't need all that. Like if it's not crucial to the story, you know, all this dark here, you probably don't need it. Okay. All right. Good job, sir. All right. Let's look at Chris. Okay, it's hanging on there. All right. Now this is an occasion. This, you guys, is pretty interesting because I actually like this whole thing. This, it's almost, it reminds me of like a French bistro or, you know, something like that. But, you know, this is just a cool object here. You know what I mean? So check this out. Look at how these dark lines here. Ooh, I hope, Chris, you got this moment here because, whoops, this one with this line here, right? So that the hardness of it, this metal painted black, right? So we have something very hard, painted black, and then we have these moments in here where they're butting up against the toilet paper, okay? Let's look at those points again. You guys just pick them out, okay? Wherever these dark moments are intersecting, I'll just circle it. There's one there, there's one there, there's this one here, there's this one here, and, you know, okay, so, and this is even kind of a neat moment here. See how this shape here, and also this one kind of has a conversation with this one. You see what I'm saying? Which is also a reflection of this one. You know, you see what I'm saying? So we're talking about finding these shapes, and that's how you build cohesion, even if it's on a subconscious level in your image. So very, very interesting. And then also, you know what else is nice? Ooh, this is such a nice moment. Look at this squiggly line coming down here. Woo, okay. And then how this is kind of, it almost looks torn or something, but it just makes it all the more like look real. You know what I mean? Okay, I have high hopes. Let's check out the actual drawing. Oh, yay. Okay. Okay. All right. We have it. So we have the contact moment here, just like in the other one. So this was a good job. Good, good, good. This was super nice. Lost the edge totally here. I'm loving that. And Chris went so dark. See, in the image, this actually looks, like it looks light, but that's really, really black. It's just that he went so black that or they went so black that you can't even, it's catching light and it's almost buckling, and so it looks light, but trust me, it's dark, 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 dark. Okay, got these lines in there too, got this one peeking over. Excellent ellipse going on here. We got the softness. Let's look at the image one more time. So I'm thinking we got, if we would have kept a little bit more lightness, I think, in the toilet paper. Yeah, okay, Chris, so like right here is the lightest moment on this whole toilet paper. Okay, I mean, that's the lightest moment. So if you would have just took your eraser and just made that pure white, then that would have popped it out a little bit better. But all in all, excellent work, time that was taken. You know, I could see, you know, that you really, just being patient with it. And patience, you know, is a great asset when you're trying to learn how to draw. So good job, A for you. Okay, let's skip over this Paul. We'll go to Miss Renteria. And let's see what Destiny's doing. Hey, oh, look at the color. I mean, ooh. She's a fan of color. I happen to know that. Yeah. But anyway, so this is a nice moment here. And then look to how this blue is kind of getting over here, right? So this has a very happy kind of a feeling to it. Okay, let's check. Before we look at the image though, I want you guys to once again look here and find where is the hardest edge really quick. Where's the softest edge and where's the hardest edge? Where is it? Let's use orange because it's the complement. Oops, I already gave it away. Okay, right here, ladies and gentlemen, and others, right there. That's a pretty nice moment. Now, this one too, I might be wrong. Okay, now I am mistaken. I do love this moment, but the actual most high contrast moment is actually right here, where this is a very crisp edge. Now, and that's because we have such a light moment here, and then we have a dark moment back here. Whereas here, it's much more the same value, right? Because it's on the shadow side, right? So we have catching light on this plane, not catching light or catching less light as it goes down. Okay, so anyway, those are true crucial moments though. I will say those are anchor moments, right? Whereas the other anchor moment is this line cutting through right there on that composition there. And then also this is a nice moment here, right? So all these different lines and angles, this is the benefit, you guys. Please remember this, like Destiny did, like other people did in future projects. When I say draw something, this is an example of how much just having a different perspective can really help bring it forward and make it look like it has form, and then it's real. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the drawing. Ooh, wow. Oh my goodness, you guys, look at that texture. That's crazy. Look at her dots. Am I alone, or do we think that is the most favorite part? These, look at that. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Okay, because here's why. Because she's taken not only, she could have just went in here, ladies and gentlemen and others, and just did those dots, but she actually went in there and she did the dark moment, and then she actually put a highlight in there. So she took her eraser either shaded around it or took her eraser and went in there and lifted those out. So either way, there's a lot of patience there because that had to be white. You know what I mean? That is some crazy time, dear. Woo, I love that. And look at, you see the texture here. So even though it does, she has like a hard moment here that might be a little like, yeah, that's a little too hard. You see what I'm saying right here? You know what I mean? And even this, it seems hard, but there's so much care in the shading. I mean, this too, look at this, beautiful, patient, all the way across, all the way around, all the way to the edge, even way down here. Look at this, she even went, this is crazy, like right here, she was paying attention way over here, and even right here, I can see in the corner. Oh no, this is you know, a beautiful thing. So it has this wave to it, like I say, that it feels too, it's like, whoa, and it feels too hard, but I just can't deny how much I love it. Okay, let's get rid of all this and just look at it again. Okay, look at it like it is. Okay, now let's look back at the reference. So once again, this is like probably the third time this has happened. So it feels like maybe a little bit elongated or something. You know, let me go ahead and get a screenshot. Oh shit, hold on. Let me get a screenshot just so I can hold this next to the other one, because it's just, to me, it's fascinating. Now I got to find it on my, let's see, where did it go? Okay, now I'm going to have to, I think I have to go out of this one. I don't think you guys will be able to see it. If, you know what, I don't want to mess with it. I'm sorry, my bad. I know I got to, I should have took pictures and did all this the way, so I didn't do it right. But you guys get what I'm saying. I'll have to go back and forth right here. Okay, but anyway, this right here, and it's so funny because remember when I said, hey, this is a part I really like right here. And I was talking about this was a crucial moment and this was a crucial moment. Well, she nailed both of them. You know what I mean? So beautiful. And then look here at this too. Look how dark and committed. See, that's another thing, pushing this, as hard as her lines are in here, the hardness that she went on this line here on that edge, making a really sharp edge, that is helping this toilet paper feel toilet papery. And then look how she thought she did when she goes back here and it's getting lighter, right? She stayed true to that. She didn't continue the darkness, right? I think she even accentuated and like pushed that back. So all these little choices, and even in here, boom, boom, she's got these little edges on these moments. Oh, this is A. This is what an A quality effort looks like, you guys. And I bet you when she started this, she wasn't going to say, yeah, I'm going to spend 8 hours on a drawing of a roll of toilet paper. That I'll ask her in private how long she spent. But honey, that's an A for you. You brought it. One of my favorites. I want a collection. I swear. I want a collection of toilet paper right now. Okay, let's take a look at what Mr. Sotelo did. Okay. All right. So I don't know why we're at an angle. So it's going to take off. Okay. At least it's clean though. I will give that to you, sir. Your stuff is usually pretty clean. Okay. Hopefully, I'm not sure what the next one will be. If it'll be the actual drawing that is up, you know, instead of at an angle like I requested, or if it's going to be the actual image of the toilet paper. I guess let's all find out together, shall we? Okay, it's the toilet paper. Oh, wow, that's an interesting texture. It looks like, I guess it's on the inside of a shower or something. Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, so this is, it's a nice cast shadow here. That's a nice moment here. Okay, now let's go back up. Let's see if we got the texture. I don't remember now. Let's see. Okay, we didn't really get any texture. It's clean though, but sir, I'm having a hard time figuring if your cylinder is correct. Okay, and it's a little, I mean, yes, it has a very stableness to it. It's like, you can count on me. I'm toilet paper. I'll be there for you. And so, you know, that's okay. But I mean, the only serious shading you have here is here. And I just feel like, once again, had you just chosen to, you know, do maybe a little bit darker shading to really help bring out that feeling of toilet paper, it just feels a little stiff and sort of, I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's clean. It's clean, sir. It's clean. And, you know, your shape looks pretty good. Although I don't know why I keep trying to tell you to take your pictures so it's like this instead of an angle, because again, it makes it hard to see. But anyway, good job, sir. Thank you so much. All right, let's move on to Tegan. Okay, this has a lot of character. Wow, look at that texture. Okay, so I think in this, I remember saying, so if this is 6 by 6 inches, right? Then I would expect the toilet paper to be bigger. That's a teeny toilet paper roll there. What I'm guessing is it's further away from the camera, you know, but it probably would have been better to, you know, because this right here, what's going on with this is that it's first of all kind of divided right down the middle, right? So you got this big triangle up here and you got this dark triangle down here. This is a little uncertain. I'm not quite sure what's going on right here. We'll find out when we look at the photograph. You know, this right here feels a little bit too high. You know, so just a couple things there just on the outset. I'll go ahead and erase these lines now. Okay, so just looking at that. Also, right here, this contact point, this, I mean, this is turning into a very serious kind of, you know, thing there. And I'm not sure you wanted that to be your focal point, but it almost is kind of becoming a focal point just because those two things are meeting right there. You got the triad, actually 4 moments, 4 meeting points coming together right here. Okay, so that becomes your focal point. Okay, so you got to watch out for that if that's not what you want. But let's look at the image and see what, oh, you don't have an image. Let's see. Oh, okay, that's it. All right, so this is it. I don't know what, you know, because I can't look at the image, but in general, guys, probably a better idea for Tegan would have been to kind of bring this out here and overlap and go on top of, you know, just pull out more of this, or maybe even go off the page. You know what I mean? That could have been cool. Just kind of bring it all around. See, when you do that now, she's taken a little bit of, you know, power away from here. We're not looking at that. Now we're more looking at this swoop, right? On both of these sides. That's the whole kind of strength of that whole thing. And now if she were to take that route of having those 2 moments, that kind of swooping the general gist and the power and the strength of this image, then I would have said, then go ahead, go back here and erase this, make this less important, either taking the shading and then just as you move, you know, that way to decrease it so it becomes lighter. And then also to get rid of this and make this a little less softer. You know what I mean? So it's choosing something over. That's what design is. It's choices. What do I want to accentuate? What do I want to subordinate? And why? You know, it doesn't make sense for whatever the image or whatever your goal is. But pretty good ellipse though. There's a roughness and there's a consistency to it. I will say that. And she dealt with the whole composition. So this right here was a good move on her part. It is a little rough, but that's okay because it kind of makes this toilet paper feel, you know, more soft. So pretty good job for you, Tegan. Good, good, good. Okay, you guys, I believe that is all for the critique. And I look forward to seeing what you guys do on the charcoal. I did see a couple charcoal ones here. So if you mistakenly did charcoal first, then you need it, the other one needs to be graphite, okay? So at the end of this, next Monday, I need to have both a graphite version and a charcoal version, okay? All right, well, you guys did some really beautiful stuff. I swear I am gonna have a toilet paper collection. Maybe I'll start next semester, I don't know, but kind of cool. All right, you guys, also another reminder, we do have the Italian, the Bernini tour, virtual tour happening in 2 days from now on the 11th at 11 a.m. If you want some extra credit, you can do that. It is worth 20 points. If you ask the question during the session, that's another 10 points. And so you need to let me know if you want to join us. We have a cap of 40. I think right now we have approximately about 20 students. So we're looking for 20 more students to be there to participate. Once again, the virtual field trip is at 11 o'clock. On the 11th, a couple days, and then also another one on the 18th. One of them is about Bernini, the other one is about the Vatican, okay? But they're both definitely celebrating Italy and the contributions to art history in that respect. And also there will be another video that is a kind of an alternate. If you cannot make the actual 11 o'clock session, I will have an alternate that will be extra credit as well. Okay, so essentially you guys are just across the board, you're gonna be able to get some extra credit is what I'm saying. Whether you do the Italian tour or whether you watch the other video that you can watch at your leisure that I will have posted, either one, of course you would respond, you know, write a little something about either one. And so that's gonna be an extra for you 20 points, okay? All right. All right, you guys, hope you enjoyed the crit. It was cool, man. You guys doing good. You really are. So keep up the good work and stay safe. And I look forward to seeing those charcoal toilet paper. Okay. All right, you guys, good job. Have a good day.